Is Kawhi Leonard going to Toronto?
Well, I think sports fans, a lot of times we hear a lot of reports on a daily basis. It's important that we're on top of those things. The reason why yesterday's news as far as Kawhi, was he going to end up in Toronto? Because some betting website, right?
Bet Online is what got it going. They installed him as very high favorites out of nowhere, it seemed.
Yeah, but the public should know this is a website that typically they do some shocking, typically odds, but on the backside is that they're only letting you wager a small amount of money.
So this is, you give the Kawhi info, I can kind of give the gambling side of it. Sometimes Vegas odds tell you a lot. Particularly, those are Vegas odds, that a big casino in Vegas would let you come in and set down $10,000 on something, right? Sometimes online sports books, in an attempt to get on shows such as this one, I already mentioned their name once today, so it was successful for them, they will put in odds that are, we saw one of these, I think it was the same website, last week, briefly installed the Lakers as the favorites to win the title. And everyone is like, wow, the Lakers, they were never the favorites. But they do that and they can protect themselves because they'll only let you bet a few $100s as opposed to thousands of dollars like you could if you go to the Bellagio in Vegas. And so that's what really got this going. And then once one online sportsbook does it, many follow suit. And all of a sudden, you can credibly say, the Raptors are the favorites to land Kawhi Leonard. So that's how this becomes a discussion. But you have actual information about the non-gambling side of it. So go ahead.
Right. I don't think anything's changed. Now, is it still a possibility? You know, Kawhi can be traded anywhere. Like any team, yeah. So is it a possibility? But nothing's changed from Kawhi's side as far as from these standpoints. He still wants to go to Los Angeles, and he's still not interested in being rented out for one season. So that being Philadelphia, Boston, Toronto, or any other team. The thing that we should know is San Antonio has been in contact with Kawhi and his people, and they've told them that if something was to get real close, we'll reach out to you. Well, it's in their best interest and smart for them to reach out to him. And typically the other team that's involved in the trade will be granted permission to reach out to the star player or the player that's being traded. None of those things happened yesterday. Actually, Kawhi and them were thinking about, you know, maybe potentially having a press release and everything because everyone was running with this story. Kawhi he was in Las Vegas for one night with some friends, and he's not in Vegas anymore. But people were running rampant with the story, so they realized that no, nothing's changed with San Antonio. Nothing's changed as far as Kawhi and their camp and their demands. Their demands are still exactly the same as I reported last week.
So, go ahead, Jen. No, so people might wonder, so then why did the Raptors all of a sudden go to the top of the list? Why would the sportsbook put them there? I think I know. Listen, a guy I talk about a lot, and a guy who has incredible sources and also incredible information, Zach Lowe, he not only wrote a very plausible trade that seemingly would be fair for both sides involving the Raptors in his most recent column, he then talked about it on a podcast, and you looked at it, you're like, oh, DeMar DeRozan plus OG Anunoby and a first-round pick. You understand why the Spurs might say, okay, so we're getting an all-star. Yes. We're getting a young draft pick who profiles out as a good defender, not a Kawhi-level defender.
But in the mode of a San Antonio-type player, would do all things.
100%.
Defense is first, has really improved his shooting.
So Zach lays out this trade. Also, we know that the Raptors might be trying to pivot away from the Lowry-DeRozan combo. DeRozan's the more attractive tradable piece. And then you also know, okay, so wait. The Lakers seem to be at a stalemate with the Spurs. The Clippers don't have the assets. At last report, the Sixers won't include Fultz, and we don't know if the Spurs want him. The Celtics won't even include Jaylen Brown. And now you can squint and say, oh, would the Raptors do that move? If they thought, what % chance would the Raptors need to believe they could keep Kawhi Leonard in order to do that move? And you could even argue, would the Raptors do that move even if they knew they couldn't keep Kawhi? Because privately, maybe they would like the idea of getting off DeRozan's money, of being able to start anew, of being able to start fresh. Like, there's a lot of reasons why you could say this might actually make sense. It would give the Spurs a chance to stay competitive during Pop's final couple years. So from all the perspectives other than whether or not Kawhi Leonard has any interest in, much less not going to L.A., but going all the way to Canada, you can see why you would say, oh, That's an interesting move that could be made.
Also, the first year that the Toronto Raptors would not have to go through LeBron James and the Cavaliers, maybe they're going to put all the eggs in the basket this year and say, okay, we've not been able to do it because of LeBron James. He's now gone. But if we're hearing this rumor, obviously the Lakers are hearing this rumor as well. Would the Lakers be making a mistake sort of letting Kawhi slip through the cracks this year?
The Lakers would be making a tremendous mistake. And it really, you wouldn't be able to finish the LeBron equation. Because Nick and I had talked about, when you talk about Kawhi and what San Antonio might want, before free agency opened, it was really based on, if you can land Kawhi, you're getting both players. Well, right. LeBron's already there. So for me, I don't believe that the Lakers can give up too much in trying to get him. To be careful, though. In the same building, there's a man, Jerry West. And if you would look for a place potentially to steal Kawhi away, watch to see if the Clippers can get a third team involved. All right? That is far more reasonable, far more likely to happen than the Toronto trade. Jerry West get a third team involved because he doesn't have the assets and try to get Kawhi with the Los Angeles Clippers.
Or even if, and when you say slip through the cracks, or if they can't get a third team involved, and neither team pulls off the trade this year, and the Lakers' belief is we think Ingram's going to be an all-star. We want to keep him. We are not going to trade Brandon Ingram for one extra year of Kawhi Leonard. Okay, I get that. But you sure as hell would trade Brandon Ingram for a career of Kawhi Leonard. And so if you don't, if you want to roll the dice, you are no longer rolling the dice on just getting Kawhi. You're rolling the dice on being able to compete for a championship while you have LeBron. Because while there are a lot of big-time free agents available next year, none of them have asserted that they want to go to the city of Los Angeles like he has. Two of them play for the team you're trying to beat in Klay and KD. And you can make the argument Klay's dad played for the Lakers. But if the Warriors win another title this year, I can make a strong argument. The whole crew will say, let's go for 4 in a row.
Yes.
Jordan never did it. Kobe never did it. Shaq never did it. LeBron never. No one has done that since Russell Celtics. So if it to me would be an enormous gamble. We started off talking Vegas. It would be an enormous gamble to say, we're just going to get Kawhi in free agency. I think Ingram can be a really good player. It is not, to me, worth the risk of never getting Kawhi. I said yesterday, and I think you agreed, if I'm building a team to beat Golden State, my number 1 pick is LeBron James. My number 2 pick is Kawhi Leonard. You already got the first. The second is on the trade block. If you need to move mountains to get him, I think you move mountains.
And even if you don't get rid of Ingram, the Lakers obviously still have so much more to offer than the Clippers do. Nothing's changed on that front, correct?
Yeah, nothing's changed, but the Lakers might feel like, oh, well, there's nowhere else he can go. And the Clippers with Jerry West, you have to understand Jerry West is trying to do everything that he can. And they have informed Kawhi and his camp, listen, don't give up on us. We are trying to move that mountain that Nick talked about.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.